Matemu Mumo, the head of EACC, insists that as a commission they will be probing members of parliament, and as far as the chaos we saw in the National Assembly during the passage of the security laws. Do you agree with that? There are those who have argued that perhaps everything that happens within the precincts of parliament is outside his mandate, but he says no, it's not. These are public servants, and Chapter 6 is still alive and active.
To the extent that the law exists on immunity, he may face hurdles. But looking at what transpired in Parliament, to me it needs prayers and cleansing. It doesn't need Mumo, who has so much to investigate, so many thefts and acts of corruption to look at, that abandoning all those to get to know who undressed what and who was wearing what, I think that is a diversion. That one should be left for the Speaker, the Parliament, and the people of Kenya, because we elected them. So when they go there and they undress, it is our responsibility to say, why did you do this? Why did you punch so and so? We don't expect this of you. But for Matemu, he should be zeroing the core duties, corruption. Unless money exchange in hands. But in those circumstances, I don't think people are bribed. They were using it physical. So there's so much to look at. There are so many counties where money is going down the drain. There are so many scandals that he needs to look at. And he has a small staff. Why is he stretching himself beyond? Or is it for publicity's sake that you see the big things, I go my hand? I would tell him, brother, let's leave that to the church and the imams to look at and pray for MPs and to cleanse the National Assembly.
Yeah, Henry, quickly.
I think Mumo was brought into this process by the Speaker. So earlier on, the Speaker had written and indicated that he wants an advice on certain processes. But I think the Anti-Corruption Commission has a bigger role than just investigating the December circus. One is to get into structural questions of integrity within Parliament. Those are far bigger issues that we need not perhaps water them down on who poured water on who. That's something that the Parliamentary Service Commission, the Speaker's committee, and others are able to deal with within the powers and privileges of Parliament. So I echo, we've lost too much money. Yeah. He hasn't even dealt with one of the big scandals. We have questions about the standard gauge railway, which he has not said anything about himself. So I think his hands are full. Let him focus on the right place. But as a person, I pointed out and I repeat that the Speaker also failed to show leadership in the House. This is the time, if there is any reflection on what do you do with a Speaker who fails to discharge his duties in a country like ours? Do you leave it to just MPs? Because that's what the structure envisages. These are the ones who elected him, and he has failed to show leadership. And the issue that the House moved from what was perhaps already seen as a very hard terrain to just an abyss that nobody could say this is Kenyan Parliament. Right. I think it's time for proper reflection, proper thinking about processes, and respecting due processes, that when due processes are not respected, this is what we end up with. And for me, that's a reflection that as Parliament seeks to come back from recess, I hope that the Speaker and the Speaker's committee, the Parliamentary Service Commission, they will all sit and tell Kenyans how they are going to be different. Okay. Because to entrust them with all these responsibilities when they were beyond what children can do. So I will not even dignify them that they were childish. All right. The children were far better than what the MPs did.